So we will now start our question and answer, inshallah. So you'll be seeing some of our questions in the chart.
Okay.
Are you able to see the chart?
Yes, I'm seeing charts now. I think everybody's seeing me. I just said Assalamu alaikum. You can see me, right?
Yes, we can see you.
Oh, okay. I said Assalamu alaikum. Now, so if there are any questions, may Allah help us if to answer them. And we want every answer when we answer not to come from opinion. So sometimes the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sometimes they will ask the question, Ya Rasulullah, this and this. I said, I don't have an answer until Jibril alayhi salam comes. He doesn't speak of his own. So if we start doing that as Muslims, it will be good for us. They ask you a question, don't just because you have seen something on Google, it's not enough, akhi. If you're not sure, please don't give an answer. Wallah, it's better for you. Because if you mislead somebody, they do something wrong, each wrong they do is going to come to you too. So if you don't know, brother, I don't know. Sometimes Imam Ghazali, all these heavyweights, they will ask them something. So wallah, Imam Ghazali doesn't know the answer. So you are the Imam, say, I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with I don't know. It's better. This is Islam. Islam is not a logical religion. Islam is a religion that grows on knowledge. That's what they say in the Quran. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. It is only those who have knowledge who fear Allah. Only those who fear Allah. There are those who have knowledge. Yes. So for those, if there's any question, may Allah enable us to be able to answer it, inshallah. So go ahead. Okay. Okay. A brother asks, I think we have all seen the question, right?
Yes.
Okay. What are the ways to replace negative thoughts with ones that are healthy? How can we fight our nafs? In this society, let's be very honest. We are facing a lot of challenges. Look, just come out. I don't know where you are, but where I live, in Texas, anything below 100 degrees is cold. Here it's almost all the time hot, right? And so if you go out, you see the unseen. Okay, what is not supposed to be seen, and a lot of things happen, and you are fasting, even when you are not fasting. So we face these challenges, but all too often, sometimes it is a company we keep. Actually, one of the best companies to keep, wallahi, is in the company of those who are always with remembering Allah. And the best way to have a very healthy heart is with adhkar. With adhkar, remembering Allah. That is when you have healthy thought. الذين تطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله الله بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. Those who find satisfaction, peace of mind in the remembrance of Allah, certainly in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find comfort. Remembrance of Allah, right? You get angry, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah, ya Allah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, subhanallah. You see something wrong, subhanallah, astaghfirullah. Remembrance of Allah. It's coming from the heart. It's wrong, it's wrong. Is it going to be perfect? No. Once in a while, you will err. That's normal. But come back to Allah, astaghfirullah. Okay. The nafs is always going towards what is wrong. That is shaitan. Always going towards what is wrong. And there's a story of an old man who was going to a masjid. He fell, and somebody came, a very nice, a good Samaritan picked him up and helped that old man to the masjid. It is Fajr time. When they got to the masjid, the old man told him, but it is prayer time. Why don't you just come inside and we pray together? He said, no, I'm okay. He persuaded him, come inside. He said, I'm okay. And finally he said, I'm shaitan. When you fell once, Allah wiped half of your sins. So I was afraid if you fell the second time, Allah will forgive you all your sins. So I didn't want that to happen. Shaitan is always running after you. Look at shaitan. See, he's just afraid Allah will forgive your sins. That's what Allah said, Inna shaitan lakum aduwwun mubin. He said, avowed enemy. Avowed. A very terrible enemy who has pledged to destroy you. Would you take him as a friend? Would you take him as a friend? أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ? Do you not have minds? What's wrong with you? So yes, the nafs is always going to be dragged between good and bad, good and bad. But the best way to fight it is adhkar. Wallahi, sometimes you feel very angry and then you go and pick the Quran. Wallahi, but you have to understand it. Even if the translation, just read something. Just for a short break. Or call a brother. Don't call somebody who's going to make you go crazy. Or you took that from him, or you accepted that from her. Or I wouldn't. No, that's not good advice. Call a brother, call a sister, call somebody. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, well, you know what happened to you? Worse things have happened to people. But let me tell you this, there's always comfort in this. There's always, and okay, alhamdulillah. You see, you have, mashallah. I say, wow. You see the difference. The difference between company, good company and bad company. So we should have good company, and the best of companies is the company of Allah. Always adhkar, dhikrullah. May Allah accept from us. I think there's a second question here. Is it okay for young Muslim girls and boys to be having phone or video? Well, I don't know. I hope it is a young man. That's why I said we should pray for our kids, right? They face a lot of challenges, right? And what they face, you and I were very blessed to be raised maybe with very solid foundations, right? Yes. Why? Because we grew up in an atmosphere of uncle, brother, sister, auntie, everybody is around, right? So neighbor, you do something wrong, the neighbor will correct you before you get home, right? And you don't even want the neighbor to call daddy because it's going to be another episode of disciplinary action, right? So our children are facing a lot of difficulties. Look, they go to school, and I teach in the school system, right? From kindergarten to the college, I've taught there. And I see these things with my eyes, okay? They face a lot of pressure. They say, oh, you only have one life. You live like, what's wrong with you? You live in the past. Just let's go and chill, man. Yes, they're going to chill. And this is where it starts. And before you know, your daughter is coming home pregnant. Before you know, the guy is coming home with a Corona bottle. Not the one we can see, Corona bottle that you can open. Alcohol. Before you know, hashish. Before you know that. Before you know zina. Before you know his astaghfirullah. So this is what, but whoever asks this question, it depends on what conversation you are having. And this is why it is very dangerous, okay? Shaitan is always loitering. Always. He will find something to upgrade your conversation to. You say, you're just talking about deen. Why not begin to talk about like dating and stuff like that? What happens? And then you are going away. And so one way to avoid this is to distance yourself from anything that you are not sure. If there is a chance anything could go beyond what is allowed, avoid it. Yes, and we know what to say, right? The texting, the sexting, and we all know that, right? So it is discouraged. It is discouraged, especially when they are becoming teenagers. Okay, that this type of conversation should be going on because it leads to a lot. This type of conversation leads to a lot of difficulty, right? Shaitan, and these are people with very young minds, and when the mind is idling, that is when Shaitan is very, very powerful. Yes, if you want to have a conversation, include your parents. Hey, Dad, I want to call this sister. I want to, and we'll talk together. Or, ma'am, we are in school, and then we have some school conversation. Yeah, that's not wrong. If you have nothing to hide, There's no reason to have a problem inviting somebody to be part of it, right? Because like the Prophet ﷺ advises, do not be alone with a woman who is not a mahram, right? Somebody who is not forbidden for you to have to marry. Do not be with that person alone. It's not good. Shaitan is always loitering, and he will find a way to manipulate a situation. Trust me, where the most unfortunate thing would happen. Okay, and I tell you a story. And this imam told us with the permission of somebody. He said, some parents came to me and they told me to tell you so that you know what we're facing. Some of these challenges. He said, the parents came to us, and the case went up. They went up. The parents are downstairs having a conversation, the case went up. And all of a sudden, it was quiet. They said, oh, this case, what are they doing? Maybe with the computer, so let's check what they're doing. Wallahi, the sheikh said, the parents said, when they went over there, it wasn't good. You know what I mean? So he said, the parents gave me their permission to tell you, to let you know what we are facing. You think you love your kid when you give them the iPads, when you give them the iPhones, the Androids and everything, and just walk away. You are not there to supervise. And something happens and you ask yourself, when did this start? You don't know? When you bought the phone, when you bought the laptop, when you allow Wi-Fi connection unrestricted. That was when it started. So as parents, we have to be involved. And the second thing, when you take them to school, be involved with their school. Don't just draw them like a bad habit in school and walk away. That's not a favor you have done the school or the children. Wallahi, that's a big disfavor. Who is the teacher? Who is the principal? Who is the counselor? Who is their sports director? What did they do? What next? Yes. And one imam told us a kid, the teacher called home and told the imam, usually when we call, the child is doing something wrong, but I'm calling to tell you your child is exemplar. And this is what happened. I was trying to persuade them to accept this mixed races, gay stuff. And he said, no. And this is a fourth grader. He said, no. And then the teacher persuaded him. He said, no. And he said, why? He said, because Allah says it's wrong. Where is that coming from? From the parents. Yeah, they learned it from home. But if you are home and all you do is watch TV, all you do is bling bling, and you want the kid to be different. I remember when we were in New Jersey, in our masjid, not the one in Jersey City, we had a madrasa, weekend madrasa. And there was a little girl, when they came in, they always prayed before they went for classes. So this little girl, I was watching her. Each time she went for sujood, her underwear came out. And she's only like maybe 10 or 11, always. So one day I called, I said, come, a very, mashallah, very sober young lady. I said, when you make sujood, your back is out. And as a woman, all your body parts represent your nakedness, right? You are still young, you have not reached puberty yet, but still, we want you to grow with the best of manners, right? And she told me, well, my mom told me I don't have to wear the hijab. I said, okay, but wear something long, right? So that when you go to sujood, because you are praying to Allah, you are in front of Allah. You don't want to be naked before Allah, okay? Next step. And wallahi, she changed, okay? But I waited and I saw the mom. I was going to tell the mom. I said, mom, give her something bigger. And when the mom came, I had no reason to even say anything. The mom was almost naked. Yes. And I said, oh, I see where this is coming from. So sometimes it starts from home. How is daddy? Does dad wake up for Fajr? You want the kid to come out and become a sheikh and you don't even pray Fajr? Mom, how about mom? Mom is not covering. Okay, not only not covering, mom is exposing herself. She put the bra so that everything will be coming out. And they say, oh, you look cute. Yeah, you look cute, but you're disobeying Allah. You're disobeying Allah. So it's going to come from us. We have to start it from home. And don't just think, oh, you are going to send a kid one weekend and everything will be solved. La, my brother, it doesn't work. There's no magic in the masjid on weekends. No. I've been in many masajid, weekend, everything. And trust me, sometimes you just ask yourself, Ya Allah, is this kid actually a human being? Is that a human being or an animal? Not a single alphabet goes through the ear. Everything is clogged. So one day I called a parent and I said, my brother, look, this is your son. He's very smart. And that kid is smart. He said, but he doesn't listen. So either you or your wife, one of you has no time at home. And that is affecting the kid. Or maybe the food you give him is from haram. So you have to correct something at home so that this kid will be corrected. That's the painful reality. Either you have no time or you are bringing haram food. So that is how we can help our children so that they don't go through these difficulties. Well, as a teacher, I can tell you, I've had students come to, you don't want to know what goes on. Some of the teachers, they are gay, they are lesbian, and they tell them, oh, it's okay. What is okay? It can be okay. It can be okay. Our school system, they're trying to enforce it on them. And what do? We're very busy paying mortgage. We're very busy paying the car note for the expensive car we don't need. So my brother and sister, we have to reform. We have to sit down and do some rethinking. We have to go back to the SOPs, standard operation procedures. When everything fails, you go back to the drawing board. Say, okay, what did we do wrong? We remanufacture, we redevelop our priorities. That's what we have to do. Our children. They are your responsibility collectively. Allah is going to ask you, protect yourself, save yourself and your family from hellfire. So you know it is on you. It is on you. So my brother and my sister, especially as a parent, let's work as a community. Don't just say, oh, this is my son, this is my daughter. No, let him or her be our son and our daughter, so that we help collectively. If you see my son or my daughter doing something wrong, correct the poor kid, or correct him or her. Tell me this is not right. This is how we do it. You do it better next time. This is how we're supposed to do it. But let's do it according to the Sunnah. Okay? Don't tell your child to do what you are not doing. You become a munafiq. Okay? They will ask you. You tell them to do something you don't. Daddy, but you don't do this. Yes. And there are some parents too who threaten their kids with the deen. There was a kid who came to the masjid. He didn't like the Quran at all. And they asked him, finally, when the sheikh got to know what was the problem, that the dad threatened him, said, if you don't behave well, I'm going to make you read the Quran for a whole hour or something like that. Oh, so reading the Quran is a threat? It's a burden? So the kid hated the Quran. So what we tell our kids, we should be very careful. They have very long-lasting impact. And sometimes they are irredeemable. The damage is irredeemable. May Allah protect us from mistakes. So always pray to Allah to give you a middle hand so that inshallah you will not go over the board. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakumullah khairan wa yakum. Thanks so much. And this will conclude our question. Inshallah.
Jazakumullah khair. So, Dr.